Hey everybody, and welcome back to Romantasy Roundtable. We're at a square table, rectangle table. Is a rectangle a square, or is a square a rectangle?
All squares are rectangles, but not all rectangles are squares.
Welcome back to Romantasy Rectangle, and Tale of Rick and Roses.
Guys, he's only had like 2 drinks.
And I'm joined by my roses.
Amanda.
And Kim.
It is great.
And we're so excited to be giving you this very special episode, our ACOTAR speed run.
Yep.
Rick, do you want to explain why we feel the need to do an ACOTAR speed run?
Because before I became a book, I didn't read. And then I read ACOTAR because you two are reading it. And if there's anything that I hate, it's not being part of a conversation. So I had to read this book so I could just talk with you about whatever nonsense you were talking about.
Yes.
And that was it. It was over. I became a book after that. I just kept on reading.
That's true. So if you want to hear more about that lore, you should listen to episode 0 of our podcast, which digs into it.
Right. But we're actually doing this one because, you can't have a Romantasy podcast and not have an ACOTAR episode.
Yeah. And so just to be clear, we're talking about the first 3 books of the ACOTAR series, A Court of Thorns and Roses, A Court of Mist and Fury, and A Court of Wings and Ruin, which we refer to as A Court of the Red cover, A Court of the Green cover, and A Court of the Pink cover.
Yep.
We are not delving into the 4th book, which we refer to as the Christmas special, or the 5th book, which we refer to as...
Nesta.
Terrible.
No!
I haven't read either of those. So we'll do the Christmas special at Christmas, and then we can fight about the 5th book later. But so we're just doing the core trilogy.
Court.
That is one of our secret fairy words. Drink, everybody.
All right.
Small sip for court. So we're doing an ACOTAR speed run. It's a drinking game. We just played our book pong. We're a little tipsy. And so we're going to do a little speed run of ACOTAR. So what you need to know is that we're going to start with a 60-second summary of each book. Then we'll dive into it kind of loosely chapter by chapter, but we're going to try to go through it quickly. In between books, we're going to do a rapid quote challenge. But here are the drinking rules, so feel free to play along with us. You're going to drink if someone gets the book wrong, says a thing, but it happens in a different book, or if somebody says, wait, that was in that one. You're going to drink if one of us has to Google a plot point. You're going to drink anytime someone says the word mate. You're going to drink anytime somebody compares what's happening in this book to something happening in the greater Sarah J. Maas universe.
Oh, thank God. Oh, I'm in one of them. Oh, no.
You're going to drink anytime there's soup.
Soup.
You're going to drink anytime someone forgets what the cauldron actually does. You're going to drink anytime someone says, shit. I don't remember this at all, but actually still has a very strong opinion about it.
That's going to be you.
You're going to drink anytime something is iconic. And you're struggling to explain it.
All right.
There are bonus fairy magic words. There are 4 levels. Level 1 words, which we now know that court is one of the level 1 words. You take a mini sip. Level 2 words, you take a big sip. Level 3 words, you take 2 big sips. And level 4 words would be like the waterfall, but we're old, and so we're not doing waterfalls.
We're old. It's 2:26 on a Tuesday. You know?
Going up on Tuesday.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Nothing. Right over my head.
All right.
That's that famous Taylor Swift song, Tuesday.
Yep.
Tuesday. I'm just killing the space because I don't know. You're leading this, bro.
Yeah, we're going to start with Kimberly is going to kick us off with a 60-second speed run of A Court of the Red cover.
And we have no notes. This is just going off memory.
Are you timing her? Am I timing her?
I'll time her.
Okay, also should be noted that it has been definitely over a year since I have read these books. So we'll see what I do remember.
I put that in the notes. Don't worry. That's absolutely being documented.
Great.
You ready?
Yes.
Go.
Okay, so our young heroine is named Feyre, and we see her for the first time, and she is out in the woods and is hunting to be able to feed her family. She inadvertently kills a big bad animal that ends up being a fae, and so
You have 30 seconds.
Okay, way too much. Okay, she gets kidnapped and goes to the spring court, drink, and then there is a big fairy celebration that happens, and we meet Rhys, and then she goes back to
20
her
seconds.
family because Tamlin is like, you're not safe here, and also you didn't say you loved me, and then ends up underneath the mountain and has to trial to save all the people against Amarantha, the evil queen, and Rhysand helps her along with Lucian, Tamlin's lieutenant, and that's that. And she wins, and she kills Tamlin, but he has a heart of stone, and so he doesn't die. And everyone's saved.
And she went over. All right.
First of all, who the fuck is Rhysand?
Yeah, who's Rhysand?
Rhysand, sorry.
What did you call him?
It's been a while since I've said that name out loud.
Oh, what do you call him?
Riz. That's Riz, bro. He's
Dear
goated.
friends, it's a mini sip for any time Rick mispronounces a name.
All right.
It's Rhys. Isn't it Rhys?
It's Rhys. It's Rhysand.
Rhysand.
All right.
Rhysand.
Let's dig on in to
Okay, how bad did I do?
ACOTAR of the red cover. Okay.
All right.
So we start out. We've got Feyre. She's a hunter. It's a harsh winter. She kills a wolf.
Spoiler.
It's not a wolf.
Nuh-uh. Never was. Never
He's
was.
a fairy. Her family's poor and basically useless. Okay, these summaries are from ChatGPT. Hi, Nesta, waving hand. And Feyre's the only one keeping them alive.
You know what? ChatGPT's not wrong. They are useless.
They're
really useless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So the beast is Tamlin. He shows up. He's demanding retribution. Oh no, the beast is not Tamlin. So
No.
she kills a random.
His lieutenant. One of
He's
his.
yeah.
The
That
beast
guy.
comes in.
The beast comes in. I just had a really obscure Office reference in my brain. Sarah Kaida comes in.
What?
Oh man, even Rick didn't get it.
Sarah Kaida comes in.
All right.
Keep going.
Okay. Tamlin shows up. He's like, you killed my friend. You need to live in Prithian to pay a life for life debt. She's dragged to the spring court.
Cheers.
She's
Which
not
is-
dragged. She's carriage.
Yeah, she's like, fine. Which is lush, magical, and a total contrast to her world. I like this talking point. What were our first impressions of Tamlin?
My first
He's a
impression.
beast.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Like, I truly hadn't read a book like in a while. I'm talking about like years.
You didn't read for the readathon last year?
No.
Okay.
In years. And like the last book that I had read was like the biography of like someone who worked for Sega. So
I really thought he was going to say the biography of Malcolm X.
I really thought he was by there too, actually.
wow, no.
Have you read it?
No.
It's good.
I believe you.
Okay.
Anywho, so I didn't know anything about anything. So my first impression of Tamlin was like, oh, this guy's an asshole. Like, he's the worst. He's the villain. He's the villain of our story. So that was my first impressions.
So I will tell you, when my sister was reading this book, which was after me, she read this book and immediately she said, Tamlin's not the guy. And I said, why? And she said, because he's blonde. And I need you all to know, since then, it's been over a year. And since then, I've never read a book where the blonde guy is the guy. And in several occasions, there's been another guy and he's been blonde and he's not been the guy. So I don't know. I think the blondes are
That's fair. I mean, it's just
They're
because
the-
of the
the red
trope of
herrings.
the Shadow Daddy.
the Shadow Daddy.
Yep.
Oh, I should have put Shadow Daddy on the list.
You really should have.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So she shows up in the spring court. She's adjusting to life. Lucian is the snarky sidekick, and Tamlin is the mysterious soft boy. She starts painting again. She's painting. We got some soft moments in the garden. There's music. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, whatever. There's music.
That's-
Sure.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I think we're supposed to drink if we don't remember something.
All right.
Okay. Everyone's wearing a mask because of the blight, but we don't know what that is yet.
Did
Yeah.
forget to mention that.
Okay.
Yeah. So
ahead.
I don't know. They talked about this blight, and again, had I been reading this book now, I probably could have like caught all these things. But I was like, oh, it's a plague.
You weren't a book yet.
I wasn't a book at that point. So, you know, I took everything very literally. Yeah,
Okay.
that's all I got.
Did the blight make you think of Zelda?
No.
Isn't that what it is in
Yeah, it is.
Legends of the Hidden Temple?
Legends of the Zelda.
What's it called?
Legends of the Hidden Temple?
Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, that's right. It is. It is called that.
Okay.
The best game of 2025.
Oh, so stupid.
All right. Feyre sneaks out. She's trying to escape, and she almost gets attacked by Faye, and she's saved by a mysterious, sexy stranger. Tamlin goes full. Wait.
Whose name is
this is
Bryson?
Calamai.
This is Calamai.
Oh.
This was
Drink, she doesn't remember.
This was the fairy celebration.
Do we all have to drink if you don't remember?
Attempting to.
I can just drink. It's fine. All right. Tell us about Calamai.
Yeah, so Calamai is this big celebration where they're giving back to the earth. I remember this. Where they're like giving back to the earth or whatever, and like the king of the court, which is Tamlin, has to like hook up with someone, right? Court. So Feyre sneaks out, and these three random Fae are like, "Oh, girlie, you're here. We're gonna like, you're ours now," and they're about to hurt her and other things. And this big mysterious dude comes. It's Rhys. It's Rhysand, right? Is that his name, Kim?
Sure.
Rice and beans.
Rhysand Beans comes, and he says to her, "I've been looking for you," and he saves her basically.
Yeah.
And they sort of part ways.
Oh, it literally says Calamai.
Yeah.
In the notes.
It's right there.
Cool. I've hosted a podcast before. All right, so Tamlin goes full Fae heat. He gets all primal with Feyre. We got some. It's not like soupy soup, but there's some soup here.
Yeah.
All right,
There's
a
some-
little sip for soup.
Oh, yeah.
Held against the wall and
Yeah, they like
There was sniffing.
make out. Yeah.
He sniffs.
So much
A little bit of
sniffing.
biting too. I think he bit her. He bit her.
did he?
He bit her because in the next day at breakfast, Lucien was like, "What's that bite mark, bro?" And she's
You're
like,
right, you're
"Mind
right.
your own business."
You're right.
I do like that ChatGPT calls this next set of chapters build up and boom.
Boom. All right, Feyre and Tamlin are flirting more aggressively. They finally kiss and they finally bang. Cheers to soup.
Soup.
Thank you, Lyric, Rick's ChatGPT. Tamlin sends her away. He says it's for her safety. How did we feel about Tamlin sending her away?
I knew at this point. I mean, not being a book yet, but being someone who's watched a lot of movies, I was like, "Oh, this is the diversion. She'll be back."
Obviously.
Yeah, no, I
Right.
felt that way too.
I knew she wasn't gone forever. And in my head, I was like, the boring parts are about to come. I just need her back there.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I thought. And it's literally exactly what happened.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah. And what also happens in the Maas verse
Oh, there it is.
with all of her books
we got a drink for that.
is our good friend Sarah loves a slow build-up
Yes.
for the first 3/4 of a book, and then it is just like you are on a ice luge going downhill at the Olympics.
Yes.
How would you know that? Have you been down an ice luge Olympics?
I'm down a what?
Have you been down an ice luge at the Olympics? How would you know how fast that is? I mean, I've seen Cool Runnings. Have you?
Obviously.
Have you seen Cool Runnings?
Yeah, but it's been like
that's a bobsled.
several
also.
decades.
Isn't that the same thing?
No.
Oh.
Guys, I'm from Florida. I don't know what ice sports are.
That's what they said in Cool Runnings.
They're from Jamaica. Yeah, the Jamaicans. I could figure it out if I were thrown into a situation. I'm sure I could figure it out, but I'm not
Anyways,
thrown into a situation.
I love alternative niche sports. Shout out to the Tour de France that's happening right now.
I love
Oh,
the
yeah.
one at the Olympics where they do the sweeping.
curling.
Yes, I love curling.
But what about feather bowling?
That's not. Oh wait, what was that? That was when you went out, right?
I went to what's it called? Randolph Beer, and they have feather bowling there, which is like somewhere between bocce and curling. It's cute.
All right.
And spoiler to the potential wedding festivities that there might be feather bowling.
Yeah, I would love to do like something at Randolph Beer because I think it would be really fun for a pre or post party.
Okay, so point being, last 25% of this book
Whew.
is just
We are
does
going.
a complete
Oh, yeah.
180 and just
So
Gets
Feyre
Craig.
shows up back in Tamlin's home. Everyone's gone. We haven't talked about the lady,
Yep.
yeah,
the helper lady.
right.
What's her name?
Scarlet.
Uh-oh. Now
We gotta Google it.
No. Her
Okay,
name
somebody else
is
Google it because I'm gonna talk.
Beatrix.
It's not. So she comes back. Everything's wrecked. This woman, who's like the only good woman in the whole book, is like everything's messed up. So Feyre goes under the mountain, which is where Amarantha, the evil high fae queen, reigns. A-list.
I would have never got there.
Never would have got
She's
that.
cool. Isn't she like made of bark?
Like a dog?
Like a tree.
Dogs bark.
Like skin.
Yeah, thank
and
you.
And is a motherly figure.
Yeah.
And has 2 nephews, as we also know, and becomes important.
Yes. All right, so she goes under the mountain. Amarantha's there. Feyre is offered 3 trials.
Pause. It's at this point that we... Wow, they just made pause hands. It's at this point that we learned that the Blight is Amarantha.
Go on.
So what happened is that... what?
I should have put that on the list.
What happened was?
Yeah, it's on the list. Take 3 big sips.
Now? But you can't retroactive that.
I can.
No, you... Fine.
3 big sips, everybody. Because there's a lot of Amanda words, but there's not a lot of Rick words.
Okay, so what happened was Amarantha, like, she's like the first general of this king of Hyrule, and like 50 years ago or something like that.
Not Hyrule.
It's Hyrule. It's basically Hyrule adjacent. All right.
Hybern.
Thank you. I was like, I don't even remember what it actually is.
So she's like the general for the king of Hybern, and like I don't know, like 50 years ago or something like that. She wanted like Tamlin to like be her man or whatever, and he said nah, and she basically like took over his whole court without she like cast a spell on them. And why are we drinking? Oh, court, sorry. That's rough. That should not be a level 1-1. She
It's a small sip.
she cursed the whole court, and they had to wear masks. And yep, she's making mask face. They had to wear masks, and she told him, I hated this part of the book. She was like, "You have 49 autumns or some
Yeah,
bullshit
it was like
that."
so specific.
I'm like, bro, 49 years. She's like, you have X amount of time to have a, specifically, you need to have a human who hates Fae fall in love with you and tell you that I love you and I will break the curse.
It's Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah, we'll get there.
It's giving.
Beast.
Tree.
So, anywho, the Blight was, that they spoke about earlier, was Amarantha, which I thought was cool. Again, not being a book at this point. I was like, oh, I didn't expect that. I like that a lot. And that's Amarantha.
All right. So Feyre's offered 3 trials to win Tamlin's freedom. She can also
Sorry.
She can also solve a riddle. I don't remember what the riddle was. Do you guys remember?
The riddle was what's the thing that hurts you the most but helps you the most? I don't know, some bullshit like that. I don't know.
Something close
It's
to
really
that.
something like that.
Yeah. Well, like when Rick was reading this, he was like, "It's love," and Kim and I wouldn't tell him.
Right, we're like, no, it's not.
But it was so obviously love. Okay, but Feyre can't read, and she doesn't know what's happening, and so she doesn't
Love.
All right, so trials. Rhys makes a deal with her to save her life during
help
one of
her.
the trials.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's after the first trial though.
Yeah.
Okay,
she
let's talk
wins-
about the first trial.
She beats the worm.
All right, so the first trial, she's got to fight a worm. It's like a big worm. I'm thinking like, you know in SpongeBob where there's like the big worm?
Wow, I was thinking like Starship Troopers.
Oh, I was also thinking Dune, but...
I was thinking, what's the 80s movie with the horror movie with the worms that come out of the ground?
Alf?
What's the...
I know what you're talking about. I want to
There's,
see.
like,
I want to watch you
people.
get there. I actually know the answer to this.
I don't know the
I do.
answer.
I know. Yeah.
What is it?
Tremors.
Why are there so many movies about worms?
Yeah.
Okay,
like
so
3 of
there's a
them.
giant
Come back.
worm. Feyre fights the worm, and she like is on the verge of death.
And it's like blind and deaf.
Yeah, and she like builds some little thing so
Yeah.
that she can get above it, and then
She uses bones.
yeah, and then she's all hurt,
Yeah.
and Rhys shows up.
Rhys shows up and he's like, I will help you. I'll heal your wounds, but you need to promise to come to my house. Not the C word. You must come to my house and my home for...
My kingdom.
he was like once a month, once a week or something like that. I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's like some specific timeline.
Isn't it like 1 week a month?
He was like twice. It
yeah,
was twice.
it's
It was twice a month, and she was like, nah. He was like, fine, once a month.
Yeah.
And they
but
settle
it's like
on
a
once
week
a month.
Yeah.
Yeah, a week a month. Yeah. So she agrees, and then she goes to the second trial.
Okay. I mean, I feel like there's like a physical manifestation of this agreement.
What? What are you talking about? A physical
Right?
Oh, right. She gets. So why couldn't you say it? She gets a mark on her. She gets a tattoo on her.
That's a fairy magic word. Take a small sip for tattoo.
All right.
Yay.
Tattoo? Boo.
Like
Guys, I found an air
like
horn.
the early 2000s group.
Tattoo?
Tattoo.
Oh,
Didn't
yeah.
we were all supposed to
T-A-T-U?
think that they were lesbians, but they were just
were.
people.
Yeah,
They weren't. They weren't sisters. They weren't in a relationship. They were just two gals making music together. There was no connection between them.
Right.
It was really devastating.
And depending on how much of this drink I can drink and remember later, she also hears some music right now. She hears some music. I'm telling you, don't look at me. I'll tell you later.
Oh, she does.
She
Yeah,
has-
you're not wrong.
She's like falling and she's like all fucked up, but she hears some music that keeps her grounded.
Like a lullaby.
Yeah, and like stable.
Okay. Trial number 2. She's got to solve a riddle under pressure, but she can't read. She's illiterate. Lucian tries to help. The end.
Well, Rhysand actually helps her.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, not directly. So she's like going to grab the wrong thing. She's like, it's obviously 3 because I've had 3 bowls of soup today. That's like literally her logic.
Yeah, no, it's nonsense.
And like she feels like this pain in her body.
Yeah, right.
And then she like picks the other one, feels a pain in her body, goes for like the last one, doesn't, and that's like
Yeah,
Rhysand.
that's Rhys.
Yeah. So
I like
What
the
is Rhysand?
I like the talking point here.
What's
the
the-
love riddle. Satisfying or too easy?
it was
Too easy.
satisfying.
All right. So trial 3, she has to kill 3 innocent-looking Fae and Tamlin.
That's crazy.
So she solves the riddle and she wins, and then Amarantha kills her anyway. But the High Lords all come together. The High Lords of all the courts.
And when their powers combine,
And when their powers combine, she becomes
Captain. No.
High Fae.
Oh.
Okay.
All right, so in the epilogue or the ending, Feyre and Tamlin return to the Spring Court, but Feyre she's got some severe issues at this point. She's haunted by what she had to do. Rhys appears one last time. He looks shocked at something, and then he disappears.
Yep.
And that's it.
And that's it.
And that is
My
a court
summary was so good, y'all.
of the red cover.
It was excellent.
All right, in between, I'm going to read some random quotes, and you guys are going to tell me who said it.
I'm gonna win this game.
Are you ready?
Yep.
Oh my god, they don't all even fucking say. Okay.
I'm waiting. Still here, guys. With my Austin's Eastsiders Blackberry Hard Cider.
I'm drinking a lovely Sauvignon Blanc
Oh, it's gluten free. Thank God.
from New Zealand.
Let's see. It's 12 fluid ounces. Here
The
we go.
quickest way to a man's heart is through the 4th and 5th ribs.
Alice.
Who?
Nope. Okay, I'm gonna try again.
The fuck is Alice?
Elis. The maid. With
She's a
nephews.
maid.
I know she's a maid. If you get that reference, you're our friend.
Lucian.
Nope.
Rhys.
Oh, got it. Amarantha.
Nope.
Shut up. Read the quote again.
The quickest way to a man's heart is through the 4th and 5th ribs.
Let's see. Who'd you say?
Feyre.
It's Amren.
That's not this fucking
Amaranth's
book,
not in this
man.
book.
It's the series.
Oh.
I was thinking only
my
about the
God.
Yeah. All right. Fine.
Okay,
All right. Fine. I'll
it's
take
the
that
whole
out.
series.
Okay.
Okay, now we
Yeah, now I'm-
understand the rules of the game.
Okay.
Everything I love has always had a tendency to be taken from me.
Rhysand.
Correct.
Yeah. Take that, Kim. Yeah. That's right. It's 1-0.
I had become the music and the fire and the night, and there was nothing that could slow me down.
Feyre.
Fuck.
Don't feel bad for one moment about doing what brings you joy.
Tamlin.
God damn it.
First book.
All right. that is where we're gonna pause on book 1.
All right. Are we stopping? Or,
No, I'm gonna give a 60-second summary of book 2.
All right. Here's our 60-second
A Court
summary.
of the Green Cover.
Before we do,
Yep.
I would like to give a shout out to poor Brianna here.
Yes.
Who is
Attempting a nap.
attempting a nap and
God.
is forced to listen to us as we're recording.
I hope
And
we're
so,
boring.
But
I'm
thankfully,
here today.
Brianna loves fantasy.
Yes.
They really do. They really
love
do.
all forms of fiction. It is their favorite genre of things to read.
Because it's so close to reality.
Yeah.
Right.
Especially this book.
Especially this book. All right.
They're really
I
never going to read ACOTAR now. 'Cause they're like,
have
what the
not
fuck is this?
prepared my 60-second summary of the Court of the Green Cover at all.
I was really prepared.
Oh.
You like spent some time thinking about it.
Yeah. 20 seconds talking about the first page of the book.
I also haven't read this book in a year.
All right. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Go.
Okay, so in A Court of the Green Cover, we start out, Feyre is in the spring court with Tamlin, but she's like got some serious PTSD. She's having all this trouble. Rhys keeps like dragging her out, and he's like trying to teach her to read and like trying to teach her to be like an independent lady, but she keeps going back to the spring court. She's planning a wedding. There's this like evil woman, I don't remember her name, she's a priest or something, and she's like, you know, terrible. And eventually Feyre's like, I can't marry this man, and Rhys shows up, and she ends up in the night court
30 seconds.
She ends up in the night court with Rhys. She meets all of his besties. He's like a special kind of fae called an Illyrian. He's got like big wings. He's very cool. And they're falling in love. It's like a whole thing. They're like trying to do all these little quests and solve all these little things. They are fated mates. We find out there's some really good soup, the origin of soup, and I don't remember how this pertains to the broader story that happens in the third book.
Cauldron.
Just drink a bunch. I don't know. That was a minute. I thought I did an okay job.
Did you end it?
Yeah, I don't remember how it pertains to the broader story of the rest of the books.
That's why I said cauldron.
Oh.
Go to Hybern. There's a
Oh, they go
cauldron.
to Hybern. There's a cauldron. Her sisters become fae. Okay, so they go to Hybern. There's a cauldron. Her sisters become fae.
You missed the whole last 25% of the book.
So I was like, I don't know. There's soup. And then she says that she's severed the bond with Rhys, and she gets drawn back to the spring court. Nope. Yes. The spring court. But in reality, that's not true, and she is in fact the High Lady of the Night Court.
What the hell was that priestess's name?
I know, right?
It's
What is
like
her name?
Iantha or something.
Oh,
Iantha.
Ianthe.
Yeah, I don't
Ianthe.
know. All right.
What?
That's what they said in
Let's
the.
No,
dig
that sounded
in.
like a terrible
I'm telling you. Okay,
bastardization.
I've listened to the audio
Ianthe.
recording.
Andy.
All right, fine. ESPS.
Era.
All right.
Wait, remember yesterday when we
That
were
was an
playing?
era.
We were playing that game, and Anaru, I said, "What did I say?" And he thought it was a different word.
Yeah, I don't remember what it was.
I said like stick, and he thought it was stack or something because like. And we learned. Okay, what is the pasta that's like a half moon called?
The pasta that's like a half moon.
Elbow blank.
Elbow blank.
This is just what's it called?
Elbows.
And you call it.
elbow macaroni. Elbow pasta.
So Anaru and I were both very adamant that it was elbow noodles.
Oh,
No.
it's just like elbows or macaroni.
Yeah, no.
In the South, apparently. These are sometimes I say things and like Anaru also says the thing and I'm like, yes, this is a normal thing, and everyone else in the room is like, it's not a normal thing, and I'm like, right, Anaru and I learned to speak in the same city.
Look, Mom, it's a Kayet.
Have I told the story on the pod?
Yes, I think you have.
Look, Mama, Kayet. All right, so we're in A Court of the Green Cover.
Brianna's from South Carolina.
Yeah, see, sometimes we say words crazy. All right, Feyre is high fae, but she's suffering from intense PTSD from her time under the mountain. Tamlin is being very overprotective, very controlling. He's not letting her do anything. He's shutting her out. He's planning their wedding without her input. They go to have the wedding, and Feyre, bleh, vomits.
Nope.
She's like, I don't want to marry him. And Rhys, oh, they're like telepathically connected.
Right.
Yes, but we don't know that yet.
But we do kind of. We think it's like through the tattoo.
Tattoo. Yeah. Oh, tattoo.
The bond, the mark,
Yeah.
the
But
air mark.
Rhys winnows in. He scoops her up. And
What's
takes her away.
He winnows in. What is winnowing?
Winnowing is when you travel
You teleport.
teleportationally in the Feyre way. In the fairy way. Feyre's a fairy.
That's what I thought
Okay,
too, dude.
you said that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. She gets to the Night Court, which isn't what she expected. So the Night Court has this reputation for being like dark and scary, and like Under the Mountain was like modeled after the Night Court, but false. The Night Court is actually like quite lovely. It's not all darkness and villainy. She is introduced to Valeris, which is the secret city and his inner circle. I'm gonna have you guys say these names because I don't know if I can say them right.
Valeris?
Yeah,
I call it Valaris. All right, no, I call it Valaris.
I'm fine with that.
That's fine.
Cashin.
Oh yeah, Cashin, Azriel,
Morgan,
the Morgan,
and
Amryn.
Got it. Okay, I didn't know if we were doing Cashin or Cassian.
It's I think it's Cashin.
Cashin. Okay.
I actually think it's I think it's Cassian based on the audiobook. I don't remember though.
Fair, that's true. You listen to the audiobooks.
All right. Anyway, these are all her. These are
boring stuff, not peeing.
All her besties. Imagine though if we like all went into the.
Let's
bathroom
just take
for you
the
to
microphone to the bathroom.
All right. So thank you so much. Rhys introduced her to Valeris and his friends and trains her in magic. And we reveal that she might be more powerful than anyone imagined. Thank you so much, Kim. She has gifts from all of the courts. What are our first impressions of Valeris?
I was a little surprised, again, being a new book. I was like, wait, I thought it was dark and evil and he was the bad guy. This is the bad guy, right? Why is everybody so happy? Why is this blonde girl so happy? Like, how is she his cousin? This doesn't make sense. None of this makes sense.
In my head, Mor has red hair. I know she doesn't.
She's blonde, right?
She's blonde.
Okay.
Everyone named Morrigan is a redhead.
The Morgan we work with is not a redhead.
I almost just said it.
Wow.
A level forward.
Oh.
No.
Everyone named Morrigan is a redhead. I will die on this hill. And I will take my 3 big sips.
The Morgan we work with is not redheaded.
Morgan, not Morrigan.
Okay, fine. All right.
Morrigan is a redhead name.
It does sound like an Irish sort of
Thank
name.
you. Once upon a time, Tristan and I used to work at Kings County Distillery. Shouts out Kings County Distillery. We love their whiskey. We love their brand. We love everything about them. I used to work for them, and there were like a disproportionate number of redheads that worked there. And once upon a time, Tristan was like, I feel like they go together though. And I was like, redheads and whiskey? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, what's the category? Things you like? Like, anyway. All right. You were surprised. You thought it was going to be dark and scary.
Yeah, no, I was very taken aback. Again, had I read it now, I would have realized Rhys was the guy, but I didn't think he was at this point. So,
on the off chance, have either of you been to Bergen, Norway?
No.
You've never been to Norway.
Okay.
I've been to Norway.
Not Bergen County.
I've been to
Norway Bergen Street.
I've been to Norway at Epcot. Does that count?
Anyways, to me, the way that they describe the city with like the cliffs and the mountains around
Is it spelled like Bergen?
Yeah. In my head, I picture Bergen, Norway.
In my head, I don't know if I've ever been to Hallstatt, but that's what I pictured.
That's fair too.
Okay,
So-
but like,
I'll take that.
yeah, deep same. Both of these have,
Yeah.
I would say,
Yeah.
Similar
Hallstatt
vibes.
and Bergen have similar vibes.
Yeah.
I didn't picture.
Have all of us been to Hallstatt? We have all been to Hallstatt.
We have all
You've
been to Hallstatt.
Amanda has been too many times to Hallstatt.
I've been to Hallstatt 5 times. I regret nothing. I won't be going back to Hallstatt next year because it is closed for construction.
Hate that.
Which is fine because we're just going to spend more time in Salzburg, and Salzburg is my favorite place.
Very fair.
Well, that's not true. Prague is my favorite place. I love Prague. Every place should be Prague.
I have never been to Prague.
We should go to Prague right now.
Let's do it.
Okay. All right. Feyre returns to the spring court. She's locked in the house. She freaks out. Mor rescues her, and Feyre officially joins Rhys's court. She's slowly healing emotionally and physically through training, friendship, and purpose. Talking point: was this when you shipped Rhys and Feyre for real?
Shipped.
I've trained my ChatGPT very well.
I'm fine. Honestly, ship is a fine word.
Yes.
I also wanted to just like shout back to Alis here also, who is in the house as poor Feyre is like losing it. and also helps more with getting her out.
Yeah, she's lovely.
So
she doesn't get enough
she's
credit.
She's a super minor character, but actually is very instrumental in supporting her.
Yeah.
This is the point where I was like, yes to Rhys and no to Tamlin. So this is where I was.
Yeah, I think this is where everybody.
Yeah, I think this is where we all did
This
that.
is where the heel turn happens.
This is where the heel to face turn.
Is that on your list?
It's not, but it should be.
It should have been.
And Kim and Amanda interrupt the podcast to talk about some deep feminist theme should also be on there, but it's not. When we do Passover, one of the rules is you take a shot anytime Amanda interrupts the Seder, which she wrote to go on a social justice rant. Okay. Feyre and Rhys are growing closer. They're bantering. They're flying lessons. Sexy mind bond tension, it says.
Yeah, it's because they keep talking to each other and flirting.
No, I get it, but we're missing some stuff here. So they steal the ring. I feel like we need to talk about the ring.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, they go to the Weaver's cottage.
Yes.
Yeah. And then have they met the bone collector yet?
No, not. That's a little bit later.
Okay, that's later. All right, so they go to the Weaver's cottage. It's like a house.
Shit, yeah, you're right. This is all in here, and it's not.
Yeah, it's like a house made of hair.
Yeah. So the Weaver. Okay. So basically, Feyre, since she is okay, they decide. I'm getting it all together right now. I have no notes, so give me a second. Rhys tells Feyre, okay, the reason we're doing all this is the King of Hyrule is bad, and he's back, and Jurian is back too, or something like that. Jurian, they go into a whole bunch of backstory of the war hundreds and hundreds of years ago, where Rhys was friends with a human named Jurian, and then that's where we learn that Jurian was hooking up with Amarantha's sister, but did it only to get information from her, which he then killed her. He killed Amarantha's sister. Amarantha found out, captured Jurian, killed Jurian, and we didn't know this we didn't talk about this in the first book, but she was wearing a ring with Jurian's eye on it, and I think his pinky on a necklace.
Yeah, it's a finger.
Yeah, finger on a necklace. So that's Jurian, but she's okay, so the King of Hyrule is back, and he's up north, and he has the cauldron. And what I liked was in all the first...
drink for cauldron. Sorry, that's a fairy magic word. It's level 2, so a big sip.
What I liked about that, in all the first book, they kept on saying buy the cauldron, and they kept on referencing it, and it actually became a thing in this book. So I liked it. So he's we have to go to the cauldron. And he's however, you, Feyre, are made of all the High Lords. You probably can sense it. You can be a compass, but we need to test that. And the an item that was made from the cauldron is in the Weaver's cottage, and it's a ring. And by the time by you going, you should be able to sense it and feel it, and we'll know if your magic works. Did I do it?
Sure.
Yep.
Okay.
So he has her steal this ring, which spoilers is his ring.
Right.
It's
his,
yeah.
It's the engagement ring.
Yeah, he gives her this ring, which I don't know. I liked that.
Me too.
Okay, so then they're off and they're fighting, and she's hurt, or he's hurt, and he goes to the cottage.
Yep.
Right? He's off in a cottage, and she finds him, and she's like, what the damn hell? And he's we are mates. We have to drink because we said mates, and he's known since Under the Mountain, and this is where the soup comes from.
Okay, so she finds
Yes.
out that they are mates because of the Suriel.
Oh my god, we haven't talked about the Suriel at all.
Yeah.
Okay, talk about the Suriel. I'm going to eat some chips.
Snack break. Okay, so the Suriel is a creature that, when caught, can basically tell you solutions to a problem. And so she catches the Suriel once in the first book, and then again in
pause.
the second book.
In the first book, the Suriel tells her, stay with the High Lord.
Stay with the High Lord.
Yes.
Is what one of the things that Suriel told her.
Which is why she went back to Tamlin after she went back to the human world.
Yeah. And in this book, she ends up catching the Suriel again because, yes,
they're flying.
Rhys gets hurt.
They're flying.
Yeah, they're flying to...
somewhere.
Are they going to the Night Court?
I don't remember. They're flying somewhere, and then Hybern's men shoot him.
Right, exactly.
They're with the Illyrians.
Yeah.
And they're going somewhere with the Illyrians.
Okay, but anyways, so he gets hurt, and she ends up, like, getting him into a cave.
Yes.
And he is, like, terminally hurt here. And so she goes and captures the Suriel again to be like, how do I save him? And Suriel is like, here is what you need to do and the plants that you need to get. And oh, BT dubs, you are mates. And so she goes back and she does end up saving him, but then she's like, fuck you, dude.
Why didn't you tell me?
Why didn't you tell me?
And so we have this whole thing where she's like making him food. And he's like, traditionally, like if the male offers to the female, like the mating bond, and then like the female accepts by like making him food. So she heats up the soup and then she's like, shut up and tell me
Your story.
your story. And so we get this whole story from Rhys's perspective. And then she gives him the soup. And then he gives her the soup.
He gave her the soup, guys. He gave her the soup.
And that's where the soup comes from.
The story of the soup.
And
But
then
his
I also say that then they had soup in the soup because they were in the hot tub.
It's so much. There's so much.
But I love this. This is the point where I really love this book and this like whole series. From this point specifically, because I reread this chapter. Like I reread his story. And
did too.
It goes back to the first book where I said it specifically, like when she was in Kalanmai, like he finds her purposely.
Yeah.
Like before that he had been like trying to save people while he was captured with Amarantha. And when he finds her, he says, I've been looking for you. Literally.
Yeah.
Like he was
The
literally
clues
looking for
were
his
really
name.
there all along. I think my favorite part is the dresser drawers
Yeah.
that she painted, and how like one of the drawers she painted was like a starlight scene.
Yes.
And she did that because he had like projected
The
into
Night
her
Court.
mind the Night Court,
Yeah.
Polaris.
Yeah.
And like now we're in now I had said it in the first book when we were talking about the first book that when she had heard the music, it was the music from Valeris
Yeah.
that he projected to her to keep her grounded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And so she thought all this time that like the thing with the tattoo was just like because of their agreement, but really that telepathic connection was the mating bond. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like this was my first like romantasy. This was my romantasy gateway drug. I know it was yours too. Was this yours?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so I feel like this is such a good romantasy gateway drug because you get this, it's like it hits every trope in the best way. It's just a really lovely, like the last 25% of A Court of the Green cover is like everything I want in a romantasy book.
Okay.
Like 6 stars.
And I know people say like, oh, you have to get through A Court of Thorns and Roses to get to. I highly disagree. Like A Court of Mist and Fury is not as good if you did not have that first book.
I agree.
No, totally.
So like,
Totally.
I
But like
don't agree.
the first book is Beauty and the Beast, right? And then the second book is kind of like, oh, all that like little controlling stuff that Tamlin was doing that you just like accepted as like okay because you were reading a romance, like actually
It's not.
it's not okay. And like Rhys lets her be who she is, and he believes in her being even greater than who she is, and is like wants to train her and like is interested in like her powers. And like in the third book he like teaches her, like he like makes sure that she can learn how to fly and like all of this stuff. Like I feel like he's so interested in her growth in a way that Tamlin just wanted to keep her on a shelf.
And we do need to get to the last
All right.
quarter of the book, but I do want to say one thing because we didn't talk about the Bone Collector.
Yeah, I was about to talk that too, real quick.
And so why do they even go to the Bone
Yeah,
Collector?
okay, so they go to the Bone Collector because they need to figure out how to beat Hybern.
Yeah,
And they need to figure out like if Jurian's back and like what to do.
Okay.
I don't know what I'm drinking for. I just feel like we're talking about things that deserve for us to drink.
So the most important thing about the Bone Collector to me is that Feyre sees him as a young boy
Yeah.
with like black hair. That's the most important thing.
And this is where Kim and I roll our eyes because the pregnancy trope
Oh God,
is
get
so
over it.
overdone. It's so overdone, but this is my first foray into being a book, so it's fine.
Right.
I was like,
Later, they not.
I have been a book at different points in my life, but this was like the real. It was like the 1, 2. It was like the 1, 2, 3 punch of Evelyn Hugo, Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow, and ACOTAR that made me like, oh right, reading is better than or as good as any other like distraction in life. Welcome to my podcast where I talk about the 7 husbands of Evelyn Hugo and why it is the best book
It's
ever.
Great. Love.
But I couldn't finish Daisy Jones. I don't know. I was listening to it in an audiobook, and maybe it would be better if I read it in real life.
I didn't finish that.
So that's what Mary said. She was like, I gave up. I don't know. I'm going to watch the show and see if that helps. But
I only made it 25% and was also just
I feel like part of the challenge with Evelyn Hugo is like, if that's your first Taylor Jenkins read, then like, I liked Malibu Rising. I'm excited to read Carrie Soto. But like, if your first Taylor Jenkins read is Evelyn Hugo, are you setting yourself up for disappointment forever?
Fair.
Have you read Evelyn Hugo?
Okay, back to the Bone Collector because
Bared teeth.
It's not on the list.
Hey,
The
I'm
list,
just
is, the
trying to-
list is crazy.
I'm trying to think of things that are on the list.
I do want to say one thing about the Bone Collector, just because my favorite detail about it is that Amren gives Feyre a necklace and is like, if you wear this and you go into the prison to see the Bone Collector, this is what helped me escape, so you're going to be able to get out. And so she does, and then she gets back and is like, Amren, I am giving you back your necklace. Thank you so much. I know how valuable it is. It saved me. And Amren is like, it's just a necklace.
It's just a
I got that at a thrift shop.
Right.
Who's your favorite of the inner circle?
Ooh, excellent question.
My favorite of the inner circle. You haven't read the last book. It's like Cassian's up there.
Yeah,
I know.
I know,
You know,
'cause
like-
he's like
It
the
has to
guy.
be.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's.
I love all of them so much. It's so hard to choose. But I think Amren might be the one.
Amren's close. Amren's like a close
In my
second.
head, Amren is Edna Mode.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
She's tiny,
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
and she has a fierce black bob.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, finish the book.
I do also, I do like, we didn't talk about this in this book either, but like Amren and her like dalliances with, I guess it's in book 3,
It's in this.
with
It might start in this book.
people in the other court.
Oh, in the other court. It starts
Yeah.
in this book, right? Don't they go to
don't they
one
go
of
to
the
the-
courts?
don't they
the
go to the
summer
summer court? Yeah.
Is that this book?
And they steal something? Man, drink
Sure.
everybody.
Crap.
Okay, anyways.
They steal
we're
something and they get
spoilers,
like the revenge rubies.
Oh
Yeah.
no, that's important. They steal the book.
They do
They
steal the book.
they have to go to the summer court to steal the half of the book that's gonna like shut down the cauldron.
That's
Yeah,
right.
drink for Cauldron too.
God
That's
dang, guys.
that's one of them.
This summary misses a whole lot.
Aura asked for more time.
I'm giving her more time.
Okay. Okay. All right. So yeah, Amren has like a bow. Okay. So they go to retrieve the
Wait, Amren has like a bow?
Yeah.
Is that what you said?
Like a honey,
Okay. Oh, I thought you meant like
like a
I
bow,
know.
like
Like a-
Katniss Everdeen.
I actually pictured a hair bow.
Wow.
We went in all different directions.
Okay.
With that.
All right. So they go to retrieve the cauldron with the Book of Breathings, and there's a big showdown with the King of Hybern. We're supposed to drink for Cauldron, but guys, I gotta stop drinking.
Guys, we didn't talk about the queens. Like this summary misses
The
everything.
queens. Oh my god, the queens.
The human queens.
All right, go ahead.
No, they're human queens.
I'll make it quick.
They
I'll make
have
it
half the book.
I need
No,
more
no.
chips.
I'll make it quick. Okay. So they're trying to get an elite. They're trying to fight Hybern, right? So they, when I say they, I mean the Night Court and Feyre, and they try to make an allegiance with human queens, and crap, is that in this book?
Drink.
Is actually, yeah. Hold on. Is
Are you gonna
do
die on
they
this hill?
do they attack Valaris in this book?
Not a good sign.
Wait.
None of us know. I think it's book 3.
I think it's this book.
I think it's this book.
When do they attack Valaris?
No,
Go ahead.
I think it's this book.
I think it's this book.
Yeah. All right, this summary's not great. It's fine. Let's see when they attack Belarus.
I spelled it wrong.
We need to finish this one because we got a whole book to go.
All right, I'll bang that out real quick. Don't worry.
All right, keep going.
All right, so they meet the human queens to try to make a pact, and they're being the worst. But one of them basically helps them out and gives them their half of the book. Right, so they stole half of the book from the Summer Court. They got the other half of the book from the human queens. So they have the full book. Actually, I'm positive it's in this book.
I think it's in this book.
It's in this book. So, but then Valaris gets attacked.
Yes, it's in this book.
Yeah, Valaris gets attacked by Hybern and the big guys there that Feyre kills.
Ator.
Yeah,
Ador.
the Ador was
Ador.
there. He's a big bad from the first one. He's in the second one now. The Ador comes back. Now, yeah, Feyre kills him. Valaris is all fucked up. But they take the full book. They bring it to the King of Hyrule. So, all right, let's now we can finish this book. This book had a lot. This book is great.
Yeah.
You want to finish it?
Yeah, this is my favorite of the three. Wait.
The cauldron happens.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm eating chips.
That's all right. She's eating
Okay.
chips.
So they go to Hybern, and Feyre goes to destroy the cauldron, but it actually is. It's not what happens.
That's not what happens. Tamlin shows up with Jurian
Right.
and sells them out.
Yes.
And Feyre's sisters, Nesta and Elaine, are forced into the cauldron and turn Fey. And this is the moment
They
where I
were
realized...
kidnapped and show up. Yes.
Yeah, this is where I realized the cauldron is not small.
Right. I know. I
Cauldron
pictured
is-
it also as like a chalice.
Like a
Or a
chalice,
cup.
which is like a cup. I figured a cauldron was like a pot.
Mm-hmm.
But apparently a cauldron is like a hot tub.
Yeah.
This is a pod.
What? Like a pot.
Oh.
Yeah,
And then-
they're putting like normal-sized people into it. So,
Yeah.
And dunking them.
Yeah, so then what happens is what I said happens. So then Feyre is like, I'm going to go to Tamlin and I'm going to be with him forever, and the bond is severed, and that's not what happens. Instead, before this even happened, Feyre and Rhys have had this like beautiful moment in this wedding ceremony, and not only has Feyre become his like consort, he has made her the first ever high lady. So the way that the courts are structured, there's a high lord, and the high lord can take a partner. In like all good fantasy novels, this is not necessarily like heteronormative, but like all popular fantasy novels, our main characters are a white woman and a white man. Although the internet does not think that Rhys is white, by the way. The internet really doesn't think that Xaden is white, if we want to get into that, which I'm fine with.
Yeah,
I'm fine with all of that, but I actually like never imagined Xaden as white. I imagined Rhys as white. None of it matters. He's just got dark hair. He's not blonde. That's the most important thing.
Yep.
The blonde guy is never the protagonist. So Feyre... Oh, I really lost my train of thought. Oh, so the High Lord can take a partner, but a woman doesn't ever rule in Prythian. But Rhys is like, she's not just like my companion, like she is my equal. And so he makes her the first ever High Lady, and that is really relevant in the third book because like she's invited to all of these spaces where the spouses might be there, but he's like no, like she's involved in the decision making. But she's hiding out in the Spring Court as a spy.
Yeah.
And also in this, Azrael gets hurt. It is Azrael, right?
Yes, Azrael gets hurt. His wings get burned off.
His wings get all effed up. And he's like already effed up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then that's the end of it.
That's the end of that book.
Left with, what we think could be Feyre's betrayal, but we don't know until book 3.
All right. Quote, rapid fire quote round.
Sure.
Okay.
There are good days and hard days for me, even now. Don't let the hard days win.
Resand. No?
Azrael.
Nope.
Amarin.
Nope.
More.
Yes.
Damn it.
There are different kinds of darkness. There is darkness that frightens, darkness that soothes, darkness that is restful. There is the darkness of lovers and the darkness of assassins. It becomes what the bearer wishes it to be, needs it to be. It is not wholly bad or good.
Amryn.
It's Rhys.
Damn it. She's looking right now, guys.
When you spend so long trapped in darkness, you find that the darkness begins to stare back.
Amryn.
Azrael.
Rhys.
Jurian. Oh, fuck. I don't know.
No. Don't do it. Cashin.
Feyre?
It's Feyre.
Really? She didn't spend that long staring into the darkness.
Many atrocities have been done in the name of the greater good.
The King of Hybern.
Misery.
Jurian?
It's Rhys.
That's Rhys. Okay. Okay, we're not good at that game.
No.
I love it. We can stop there. I don't know. The rest of them aren't that good.
All right.
Okay.
All right,
Also,
Rick.
Pause.
Sacred pause.
Say we need chicken.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I love chicken.
Great.
Socket loves chicken.
Guys, we're gonna make some chicken.
Yes.
We're making chicken.
All right, Rick. Are
Yep.
you ready?
No.
Give us a 60-second summary of A Court of Wings and Ruin, aka A Court of the Pink cover. Go.
Great. Okay, so Feyre is back in the Spring Court. We know that she is there as a spy to bring down the Spring Court and Tamlin, which she does. There's some twins in the beginning. They're pretty evil, but Feyre kills them, which is pretty awesome. So, but then she travels up north with Lucian, and they fight the Summer Court. Lucian is part of the Summer Court as well. They fight their brothers in this awesome moment. What? No? That's not what happened?
the Autumn Court, I think.
Autumn Court. Okay,
Doesn't
yeah.
matter. 30 seconds.
Then we have this awesome reunion where Cashin and company save them. It's great. They bring them back and they start their fight. They get ready to fight against the King of Hybern. A whole bunch of stuff happens in the middle. I only have 15 seconds left. So they have the war, right? Nesta kills the King of Hybern, which is crazy. What's her name? Feyre's dad dies. At the end, they get married and figure out how to rule the courts together. There you go. There's your 6 seconds. I actually sort of hit it.
Yeah, you hit it better than I did. Kim's making us chicken, so I'm just going to pause us real quick.
Oh.
Unpause.
Yeah. Sometimes when it pauses, it like errors out.
Oh, okay. Don't pause it.
Yeah, let's not
Can we
pause
just
it.
cut this part out?
We can try. We can just talk
We
about.
just yap. Okay.
Yeah. So.
So you only run and read fantasy books.
Yeah, I love fantasy.
But you
books.
really liked Dungeon Crawler Carl.
That's fantasy.
Is it?
Yeah, I mean, it's
Okay.
not real.
And you really liked Tomorrow.
Oh,
And you really liked...
I did love that.
As much as one can like Mouse, you like respected Mouse as a
No.
good piece of literature. It's hard to like Mouse, but you
It's-
respected it.
It's easier for me to get into fantasy than anything else. Like,
yeah, I got that.
I'll be.
You want to like escape.
Yeah, I want to be gone from the world. I want to like be somewhere else. Like even my favorite video games are often
Yeah,
fantasy based.
that
like,
makes sense.
Give me some sort of dragon. Give me a sword. Give
Yeah.
me some magic.
Yeah.
Um,
I feel that way about like silly little romances, as I regularly call them, but I actually like... Do you know who Stacey Abrams is?
yes, actually, I don't know
Okay.
why.
So Stacey Abrams, shouts out Stacey Abrams. She's queen. Stacey Abrams ran for governor of the state of Georgia. She she runs this incredible organization that gets people registered to vote. She's also a romance writer.
Oh,
And she did this event with Thrift Bodice, which is our favorite bookstore, where she said the thing that's so magical about romance books is that you know how they're going to end, and they keep you captivated until the ending anyway. And I think about that a lot when I'm reading these quote-unquote silly little romances, which like feel silly little romances, but maybe that's just like my internalized misogyny. But like I love they feel like such a nice distraction, the way that like a good 90s rom-com does, that like movies don't feel that way to me anymore. Like reading an Emily Henry or an Allie Hazelwood or even an Abby Jimenez book feels like watching You've Got Mail to me.
Totally.
And we're not making movies like that anymore. We're making garbage movies because I'm elderly and that's how I feel. But Yeah, I think about that a lot, about how, like, a great romance novel, like, even though you know they're going to end up together, keeps you engaged, and that feels like suspended reality.
It's all about the journey.
Yeah. Yeah.
Speaking of a journey,
We're back.
we got a journey going on here, right? So what happens, Amanda? You want to read it? You okay?
Oh, sure. Okay, so we start off in a court of the pink cover, and Feyre is playing spy in the spring court. She's sabotaging from the inside. Lucian is growing suspicious, and Feyre is manipulating Tamlin's court to collapse from within. I forgot about the twins.
Yeah, twins are good.
Rick shouted out the twins.
Yeah, they're evil. They're good.
Yeah.
I'll never forget. That was great.
She flees with Lucian across the border to return to Rhys land. Is this where she, like, breaks Ianthe?
Yeah, so
hand?
she's trying to leave, and Feyre has this, like, mind control power, essentially. I forgot exactly.
She's got all these powers.
Yeah, and she basically tells Ianthe to break her hand, like, by herself, and she breaks her hand. Because Ianthe was like...
Ianthe?
I know. Ianthe was...
Drink for that.
all over Lucian. And basically, she, like, pushed herself onto Lucian. She's like, yeah, you're never going to do that again. Fuck you.
Lucian's actually a redhead.
Yes.
Okay.
They're all redheads.
I just want to make sure I'm clear on who the redheads are at any given time.
So...
I gotta look out for my people, you know? I know I'm not currently a redhead, but I have been.
Because Ianthe turned them into the King of Hyrule.
Yeah, she's evil.
She's bad. She's no good. She's no good.
And we know that at the end of book 2, right?
Yes, we do.
We do.
But Tamlin's, like, still rolling with her. Because Tamlin's a traitor.
Right, and Feyre comes back and is like, I know you didn't mean it. You had to do what you needed to do. So...
I don't remember this one at all.
Yeah, Tamlin, he's traitor-ish.
I understand why he did what he did.
He wants what he thinks is his wife back. Right? We'll get to my Tamlin view later, but, like, from his perspective...
Rick's Tamlin time.
His wife was kidnapped.
Yeah.
Like, he literally doesn't know what's going on. Right? And he's like, I want my wife back. Yes.
Well, he can't, like, know that she's somebody else's mate.
Sorry. Right.
And unlike bride, mates are reciprocal.
So when he goes in, when he goes in with the King of Hybern, his intentions are, give me my wife back that was kidnapped from me.
Right.
Yeah.
So, anywho, where are we at?
Okay, Feyre returns to Valeris. The Inner Circle prepares for war. Tensions rise between the courts. The High Lords convene.
Yep, that was very cool.
I love when we meet all 7 High Lords.
Yeah.
I love the world building here. I love that we hear so much about each of them. The politics are messy, but, like, the lore is good. They all have different vibes. They all have different clothing. They all have different things they're into.
There's one of them, I don't remember which one it was, but I loved her, where she was like she turned to her High Lord husband and was like, he made Feyre a high lady.
Yeah.
Bro, let's go. What's up?
In my headcanon, he fixes that.
Yeah.
Later. I think that was the winter.
I don't remember which one.
Because I feel like it was like their closest allies are like the people that they're like geographically closest to. So like the spring court and the summer court and the fall court and like the winter court and then like the day, dawn, and night court are kind of like tight.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, it says, which High Lord would you follow? I don't remember who the High Lords are. All right. War, monsters, revelation. Nesta and Elaine are struggling with their Fae transformation. Elaine has visions, and Nesta has death energy. Nesta's like so intense. I haven't read the 5th book.
She is very intense.
She doesn't get better.
Great. Do we like her?
No.
No, until we do.
No.
No,
Kim
until
doesn't
we
like
do.
her at all.
No.
I hated her. How often did I come to the office and be like, I hate Nesta with a deep passion in my heart? And then I was like, yeah.
He was like, I hate Nesta. 5 stars.
We get there, though. She gets there. This whole 5-book series is about Nesta.
Okay. Feyre and Asriel visit the Bone Carver and the Weaver to prepare for war. They're trying to like recruit them.
Allies.
Yeah.
Right. They were like, we don't have enough manpower.
Yeah.
But we can get enough god power.
Yep.
Yep.
Because they're like old gods. There's the third one. Who's the third one?
The third one is
Bryaxis.
Who?
The guy in the library. The big scary thing that Cassian scared of.
Yeah. Okay. Cassian, and Nesta's tension builds, and Elaine and Lucian are fated mates.
Yes, they
But
are.
it's a little weird. They're not.
This is why I'm not sure if the mates are reciprocal in here.
Well, they are, but they're not guaranteed, I think.
Right, because Elaine has not, as of this point in time, shown...
Yeah, she's
Any
like into her like
inclination
human fiance
yeah.
who like hates fairies.
And I called that Nesta Cassian thing in book 2 at like a dinner table.
Yeah, everybody did.
Okay.
It was pretty obvious, I thought.
All right, well, fine.
Okay, so Feyre goes to the cauldron disguised as Ianthe. I don't remember
A chicken?
Yeah, when they're in war,
Oh, yeah.
and she, puts on a disguise as Ianthe and goes into the war.
She goes into the war camp, yeah.
that. Okay.
And
I
they're
believe
all
you.
like,
Yeah,
Yes.
let me take this actually for a second,
Okay.
because I was waiting for this point.
All right.
So there's a war camp, right? And she goes in, right? Because someone got captured. Elaine got captured,
Yes.
right? So she dresses up as Ianthe, right? And it's over. It's over, right? They're all coming to capture her. They lost. And you know who saves the day? Go ahead. You could say it. Say it.
Tamlin helps.
Tamlin comes to save the day and saves Feyre and everyone and says, go, I will stay here
Is it
and
Rick's-
protect you.
Is it Rick's Tamlin time?
Yes, it is Rick's Tamlin
All
time.
right, go ahead.
Tamlin is getting the worst rap of all time, guys. Yes, I too hated him at the beginning. But like, you love Beauty and the Beast, but you hate Tamlin? Don't give me that. Don't give me that, okay? His motives were incorrect. He didn't know. He got tortured under the mountain, right? We don't know anything that happened from his
He
perspective.
didn't get tortured even close to how Rhys got tortured.
You don't know that. You don't
Rhys
know
was
that.
there for a century.
Correct, but I'm not here to like
And
weigh.
Tamlin was allowed to go back to his own court.
I'm not here weighing who got tortured more. Torture is torture, right? Like, he didn't want to be there. He was a captive. He was a kidnapped.
For like a minute.
We don't know what happened to him. All right? We don't know this. Again, as I said before, all he wanted was his wife back. And I'm not like Tamlin's like the good guy, but he's getting a bad rap in general. Okay?
I don't feel like Tamlin's a bad guy. I'm just not walking around standing Tamlin.
He just deserves a little bit more credit. We loved him in the first book, right? We loved him.
Did we?
Yes, we did.
I mean,
we
you didn't
absolutely
read it
did.
when we read it.
We loved him. Okay?
I knew you were gonna love him.
Yeah.
I think I like predicted it when you started reading it. I was like, he's gonna love the first book.
Right, and both of us were like, it's straight Stockholm Syndrome.
Yeah.
Like,
I was
Look.
like, this is Beauty and the Beast.
Right, but we love that movie, right? Go ahead. Tell me you don't love that movie. I dare you.
It's my favorite movie of all time.
Right, thank you. So you can't sit here and tell me that's your favorite movie of all time and be like, Tamlin's the worst.
I didn't say. I've never said Tamlin's the worst.
Okay.
you can turn me into a bookcase. I'm...
Okay, if this was Beauty and the Beast, what enchanted object would you be? Go.
I want to be the candlestick guy. No,
Lumiere?
the other one, the clock.
The clock.
Yeah.
Cogsworth. Okay. I identify really strongly with Mrs. Potts, but I don't know if I have Mrs. Potts energy. So I think I may be that like really angry oven guy who like yells in French.
All right, where are we at?
Probably
All right.
because I should just not.
Back to the cupboard with you now, Chip.
Yeah, right,
It's past your bedtime. Full-scale war against Hybern. Cashin nearly dies. Nesta unleashes terrifying power. Amryn sacrifices herself. Guys, we've yada past the hardest death in this book.
Amryn?
The Suriel
Oh,
dies.
my God.
Right.
The Suriel dies. And it's really sad.
It's really sad.
The
That's
Suriel-
like Dobby levels of
It's
sad.
Dobby levels of
It
sad.
is.
I was really
It
sad
really
when the
is.
Suriel died. I cried. And then Amryn sacrifices herself in this chapter to unleash a primal force, ending the battle. Rhys dies briefly and is brought back by all the High Lords like Feyre once was. And then Feyre and Rhys build a new future for Valeris and the world. I've said this in other episodes. I understand that by reading romance and by reading fantasy novels, I'm going to have to read about war. I'm not interested in reading about the war.
Yeah, that's fair.
I like it.
I know you do.
I like it.
I'm just like, oh, the war's here.
Well, and one of the things we've glossed over about the war here is that there is soup during the war.
There's soup
Yeah.
in this book.
And it is, I think, kind of like when you were talking about the demon book and the demons like flying over the city while they're having like a mundane conversation.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like Rhys and Feyre are having this like crazy soup while war is going on around them. It's like, Feyre, there's war happening here, you know? Like, How are you just doing your thing
Just-
while people are dying?
And some of the funniest memes that I've recently seen on the internet come from this book,
Yeah.
where like it's like Baraxis is this scary thing in the dungeon, and like Cassian's so terrified of it, like he's running like a baby. But Feyre's like, "Bro, what's up? Come on!" It's just really funny.
Right.
Yeah.
How he's terrified of it.
I like Feyre a lot. I like her as a heroine a lot.
Until she gets preggers.
I would just like to go on the record that I don't dislike children. And I think mothers are the backbone of society. However, I don't think that every book needs to end in a pregnancy.
What's every book?
Particularly when they're 19. Like,
This
she's
one?
fucking 19.
Okay,
Okay.
first of all, she's 22. Okay?
Okay, well, she starts when they're...
And she's a fairy now.
Yeah, so she could have waited hundreds of years.
She didn't want to. It was her choice. Book written by a woman.
No, that sounds... We've had this conversation.
It is.
Yeah, ingrained self-loathing and societal monogamy.
Don't say that Sarah J. Maas is self-loathing. I love you, Sarah J. Maas.
Okay, I'm looking through my books that I've read this year, and I'm identifying 1, 2, 3,
She's read a lot of books, and she's only named 3 so far. 4. That's fine. She's still scrolling right now.
5.
Uh-huh.
That's a lot of books.
It's not. Actually, she's read a lot of books this year.
That's a lot of books.
If I've read a lot of books, she's read a lot of books.
It's 5 books this year.
All right. If I've read 22 books, which means she's close to 40. Am I correct?
She's over 40.
Am I correct?
50?
It's 43.
Right. So that puts the number at what, like 7%, which is fairly low.
5 out of 43 is not 7%.
Guys, we're not doing math right now.
It's like 10%.
It's 12%.
It's still very low.
That's high.
That is high.
For
It is
one
not
trope?
high. No, that's not high.
And I think my beef with it is it like spans genres. So I'm seeing it in like the fantasy genre, I'm seeing it in the romance genre, I'm seeing it in the historical fiction genre, and I'm seeing it in all of these books for which women are the target market.
Yes.
And it feels to me
Yes.
like it's perpetuating this societal belief that the only and ultimate path for a woman is to become a mother. And I think that if a woman wants to become a mother, that is such a noble calling. Every mother in my life is incredible. I am so in awe of the women in my life who are mothers. But the idea that you must be a mother in order to be an actualized woman, I think is incredibly harmful. And to speak about myself personally, contributed to a lot of internal struggle for me in realizing that I didn't necessarily want to be a mother and realizing that that was okay.
I'm going to use a Brianna term here and retweet all that.
That's all. I'm just like, I think moms are great. I think moms are not the only thing a woman can be. I think a woman can be lots of things. I think a woman can be a mom and lots of other things. Spin it again. That's the end of my rant.
Hold on.
So I will say, one of the things in hindsight, now that I won our book pong, I should have done is there are 2 pretty comprehensive lists on Reddit of queer romantasies,
Yes.
and I should have had us read
My
a queer
kingdom
romantasy.
for all romantasies are a little bit queer, but I would love to read more explicitly queer
Okay,
romantasies.
so
we'll do
we
that
can add
next.
this list.
Yeah.
Sorry, this has been a whole lot of digressions, but
This has
important one.
This is what the ACOTAR speed one was meant to be. If we develop such a listenership that they want us to really truly do a proper ACOTAR series that is like 9 to 12 episodes long, we will do that. But that's just not the world we're living in right now. We have too many books to read, and we unfortunately have full-time jobs that we really like.
It's true.
Sure.
It's true. So what do you rate the ACOTAR series?
As a series?
Yeah, as a series and a soupy.
This is hard for me because it's like the first.
That's fine, and you should
Yeah.
which is most
So
people. So you should
I
go
rated,
with it.
I'll tell you, I know this for a fact. I rated the first book 4 stars, the second book 5 stars, and the third book 4.5 stars. So I feel like 4.5 is where I land. Soup wise, I don't think I had ever really read Soup before this book. And so
have.
for me, it felt like 5 stars
Yep.
or 5 soups. But I wonder if I went back to it now,
But you can't read it like that.
Yeah, I don't know, man. That
You can't
cabin
retroact
scene,
that.
like the first
Yeah.
time you get soup, like that is top soup for me.
Like the funniest, like to me, like I don't know. It's like a 2000s whatever comedy movie that's like whatever, like American Pie-ish, where it's like they're like having all this soup,
Yeah.
soup, and they pause to eat some bread,
yeah,
and they're like at this table eating
they're like
bread.
literally eating soup, and
Yeah.
then they go back to
And then go back.
having soup. Yeah.
It was really funny.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, it's like when I think about ACOTAR, I think about the second book, and then it's like 5 and 5. You know, like I loved everything about it. But in discussing this, I realized how little I remember about the third book. I think the third book was a bit of a letdown for me, just because I loved the second book so much. But I knew it was going to be. Like there wasn't anywhere, because I don't like war, so there wasn't anywhere it was going to go that I was going to love it. So I think it's 4.5 stars, and I don't know.
I gave all 3 books 4 stars. And I'm getting our chicken.
What do you think?
Um,
Because you were not a book.
I was in the book at the time, so for me, first book 5 stars, second book 5 stars, last book 4.5 stars for the same reasons. I think the last book would have been 5 stars for me if, this might sound weird, if Amryn stayed dead. Like, Amryn's death was awesome. Like, Amryn sacrificed herself, right? She like did all this great stuff, and it was such a really like impactful moment. And then later, it's like, oh, she's back, which took away this awesome moment. So like you're not gonna forget the Suriel died because he stayed dead.
Yeah.
Right? Like
Yeah.
This is what I mean about when I say I like deaths in medium. They're impactful. So I think if Amryn stayed dead, 5 stars.
Do you want to hear some of your voice notes from November?
You have them?
I just scrolled up and I found a couple.
Okay.
My
Let's
phone
see-
saves all of them.
Let's see what I said.
Alright, we're back. Oh, hello. Welcome to this week's episode, or today's episode of A Court of Rick and Roses. I'm joined by my 2 roses.
Amanda. Kim.
Yep, these are my roses.
It's a tale of Rick and
A
Roses.
tale of Rick and Roses, joined with my roses.
I'm gonna close the door.
Okay. Oh my god. I think it just came to me. It might work. Okay. So, one more time from the beginning. Welcome to today's episode of Tale of Rick and Roses. I'm joined by my 2 roses.
Amanda. Kim.
Thank you, all my rosebuds, for listening. Oh man, that's good. Guys.
I'm sending just this.
That's all it was. There's nothing else. That's good though. That's when I came with rosebuds.
Alright, so haven't made it too far because it's Monday, and as we know, we don't read on the weekends.
Not true anymore.
We're getting a book that is brought in here. Kim is bringing up something called The Assassin's Blade, and it looks like she read half of it over the weekend. Good for you, Kim. But back to today's book. It's Ocean's 11 now, right? They need to steal a book. However, it's still in the Star Wars universe, because if you've seen Andor is basically a heist movie. So we're still Star Wars. They are in this little house, and I think they dug down to reach like some gravel, like a floor, and then that turned into a door or something. I was very unclear about the geography of it. It was a trap door, is that what it was? She then put her hand on the door, and that's where I stopped. No, that's not where I wanted to stop, but that's where my stop on the train was, so I had to get off of the train.
This is long.
What else happened?
4 minutes.
So she's all becoming friends with the king of the summer court.
The High Lord of the Summer
The
Court.
High Lord of the Summer Court, and she feels bad that she's about to steal from him. I still feel like Tamlin might show up at some point.
I was right.
I don't know. I got a gut suspicion, because like the High Lord of the Summer Court and Cassandra were giving each other looks when
Who the fuck is Cassandra?
Who's Cassandra?
about the little house. So like it's not gonna go well, right? Like it can't. It can't be this easy. Can't be this easy. So like I bet like when they're leaving, they'll be surrounded or something like that. They'll have gone in, did the thing, and then they'll come out to like this dude, and maybe Tamlin will be there too.
Guess what? Didn't happen.
So that's what I think.
What's gonna happen after that?
Ooh, what's gonna happen,
What's
Rick?
going to happen after that? So I guess if Tamlin's there,
He's not. This is all wrong.
we're halfway done with this book. So
It's the Court of the Green cover.
Okay, I'm playing it out that Tamlin's there, right? I don't think there's like time for him to capture her. That doesn't
That's
make
right.
sense time-wise.
She does not get captured.
So if
But he's not there.
Like something, there'll be a fight and they'll escape. Maybe one of them will be like caught or left behind. Maybe this is where somebody dies. It's a little early though, but we'll see. But I can't see them leaving this unscathed.
They do.
That just doesn't seem possible.
It's possible.
Or like good storytelling, right?
I was wrong.
Just be boring.
It was.
So either Tamlin's there or the High Lord is going to be there, and there'll be some sort of fight, or maybe
None of that happened,
maybe
guys.
Tamlin's not
They
there.
got
They'll
out
have
real
this
quick.
slander, we have the situation.
Well, they get the blood rubies.
But
But
that's
they're
later.
Not going to leave. They entered with friends. They're not leaving with friends. I don't think.
They left.
That's true.
They left with all the friends.
Yeah.
No, but they.
Oh, but they didn't have friends.
Do we have any other thing? Are we done?
I think we're done. You
All
guys
right.
have a meeting.
I think we're done.
There we
you
go.
guys have a meeting.
All right. It's long, but it's good. This was needed.
It was good. Cathartic.
Thank you for listening.
And now we have chicken.
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 Bye.
Bye.